This oscillator is a traditional sawtooth oscillator. And this sawtooth oscillator is used a lot in synthesizers. And the reason why it's used a lot is because a sawtooth has a transient in its waveform, which I hope I pronounced properly.
Transient.
Yeah. And that basically means that where is my... Yeah. That means that it is a waveform that if this is, it starts at a minimum value, it goes up straight, up to a maximum value, and then it immediately goes down to the minimum value, to the maximum value, like this, like a sawtooth. But the interesting question is, if you listen to a sawtooth, it is a very energetic sound. It's got a lot of power. Really, if I open this, it's very loud and very bright. But the question is, so where is the energy in this waveform? Well, I can very simply demonstrate this by opening it and going really down. And then you simply hear that all the energy is in the transient, and in between, total silence. So, what is interesting about this waveform is that the transient, which basically means a moment where an enormous amount of energy is released, is also very good to kick some resonant kind of thing, like a resonant filter. So it is very much sort of what happens in this exciter-resonator model. So where this is basically the exciter, where the transient excites the resonator, and that's why it's used a lot. Because if I feed this into a filter, like into this more traditional filter that I had here, let's do it like this. And let's just do it like this. You hear that we can sort of tame that energy that is in that very high part of the spectrum down. And then when we add a resonance, you get that typical sound that you know from the early synthesizers. And now you can also hear that the energy is actually in the flank, because now the flank is kicking the resonance, and the resonance sort of dies out.
By flank, you mean the same as transient?
Transient. Sorry, Dutch word. My Dunglish. Okay. So this oscillator, actually the sawtooth output of this oscillator you would typically like to use with a resonant filter. There is a filter here, which is a so-called 24 dB filter, which is a quite traditional filter.